Well, good evening and welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. With me tonight is your host, Aeson. Of course, I'm Techy Joe. And here we go.
Yeah, let's confirm we're up. I think we are.
Oh, yeah, I see live. Of course, we're live.
Uh-huh.
StreamYard doesn't lie.
Yeah, we are live. Now let's get out the social. But how is everybody? It's been a real fun week for us. I don't know. What is it?
Absolutely.
Day 49 of the quarantine?
Only 49?
I don't know. I stopped counting a while back.
Don't know. I think we all went a little native there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Let's see how many days since March 30th. 50.
Wow.
Wow. That's like seriously, it's less than I thought it'd be.
I know.
No. That's just
However, we've been keeping busy.
we have.
Yeah.
You have a lovely new garden going in. I have a lovely new cricket. You guys may have seen that Friday night sitting behind me.
Mm-hmm. They can see it right sitting behind you.
Yes, that's the lump. I'm seriously going to call it lump.
Okay.
There's a reason. It's from a song I really like. Hey, Brenda. But no. And don't ask me why I like the song. It's just, I don't know, somehow it's funny. Oh gosh. Presidents of the USA.
Okay.
That's the right one. Yeah, the presidents of the United States of America. Okay, really? I thought there was another version.
They are lumps.
There you go. All right, I guess it's president. I swear someone else redid that.
Yeah.
I'm like, there aren't many groups that I'm like that are one-hit wonders, and not that I'm calling them that exactly. But usually, if I like a song, that one would be one that I don't know. That just seems weird. Like that's a weird band name that I would have thought I would have remembered right off the top of my head, but
yeah,
guess not.
Guess what I forgot?
Ring light.
Yes, I swear I want this thing on remote.
Yes. So welcome to the Boob Show, and there we go.
There we go. Hey, they're getting smaller. Well, mostly.
No, I just meant it was an all chesty show.
Oh, yeah. It's a show about us getting crap off our stress. I'll give you that one.
Well, there you go. But yeah.
Yeah, so new garden bed going in, log cabin quilt done, which, here we go. We started talking about things last week that have gone really weird.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've had this quilt that I've been working on for like 3 dang years when I had time to sew. So I took a break off the networks because I needed a day off where I was going to man hour out, which I don't ever need to do. Because it just
really bad.
I'm sitting here doing nothing for hours.
Oh yeah.
And I'll put together the quilt. Well, now I'm out of quilt pieces, so I go to check the pattern.
Always buy enough material to finish your project.
Yeah. 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 We'll get to your math in a minute.
My grandmother taught me well.
So I've got to go and find a different jelly roll to go with this fabric because they don't make the same jelly roll. They stopped making it. Thank you, wall loser.
Hi, Sharon. Oh, you called her Shannon tonight.
Uh-huh.
Ah!
I'm getting you there.
I'm. Some mornings I think you just get up with the sole intention of driving me crazy.
No, that's a life mission, not an intentional daily thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. But so we got a garden bed going in. Um, so my normal figuring on going and buying dirt is you buy a load, and if you need more, you buy another load. You can never have enough dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Mathematician here. Tell me what you
Hey,
decided
it's
to do.
supposed to work. I think you're using dirt wrong.
Okay.
I do. I think you have improperly applied dirt.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Yep. That's what I'm sticking to. My math is right. You just can't do dirt.
So how many?
I mean, otherwise, if my math is wrong, then this is going to be like 800 bags of dirt, and there's no way that in that space 800 bags of dirt should fit.
Well, your math is wrong to a point. Oh, Joe worries her sometimes.
Now I'm just sad. What? I do math. It's a thing.
Yeah, how many? Anyway, so we went and we bought a sole load of dirt, and then I went back and said, no, I need at least more peat moss. And now we're going back tomorrow. Well, going back tomorrow for more dirt.
Yes.
Yeah, another, I'd say 10 bags.
Yes. Yeah. Apparently, my discover is going to discover Lowe's a lot, intimately.
Well, if this, lockdown keeps up, most definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of things canceled. That means a lot more time that I get to be around, which means some more content for you guys. I don't know. I kind of lost my shit earlier this week when I read a lovely news post about a barbershop now being the new hotspot for coronavirus.
There is that. Oh, well, yeah, I know that the roots need to spread and the plants can't be too close, but my God, he's doing a raised bed garden and it's only, what, 6 foot by, what, 15? If that? Or, oh, can't even remember now.
Mm-hmm. It is 18 inches high, it is 62 inches wide, and it is 112 inches long. And we're up to 20 square cubic feet of dirt, according to the bags.
Yes. Meanwhile, yeah, that was actually an original plan, which is what prompted the calculation, because I don't really want to deal with our local gravel and mulch / dirt company at the rate of, just fill up a truck. Because they have a few different sizes. And, well, I don't want to see them bring the big one and us be like, yeah, you have fun carrying that to the backyard.
Uh-huh.
It's like, I'm done with nature. I saw a snake. I retired from nature, effective immediately.
Yeah, that was a little hair raising because it was at our back door. And I'm like, it's a snake, get the lawnmower.
Which would have worked great if it had been, adjusted down where you used to keep it at mow the dirt.
Uh-huh. But
no,
apparently,
apparently it was a non-venomous, totally safe snake. Still don't care. Yeah. My only plan for going outside now involves a flamethrower.
Yes, because we will have a bonfire.
No, I mean a literal flamethrower. I am now supporting your flamethrower purchase.
Really?
When you wanted to clear the driveway, you can have it. I just have to use it all summer.
That's fine. It's a great way to weed eat.
I am not responsible for anything that burns.
That's fine. Call Rebecca and inform the insurance agent.
She'll be fine. She'll think it's funny.
Uh-huh.
Like, she's learning how to take us finally.
Yeah.
She spent a very long time taking me very seriously before she realized, oh my God, you're kidding.
Well, she still was a little confused when I called and said, hey, the insurance payment hasn't cleared. Why isn't it out of my account?
Well, yeah, she gets concerned about serious questions, but when I ask her things like, hypothetically, if I were to recreate the scene from Fried Green Tomatoes at the Kroger parking lot, what would my coverage look like? Yeah, she took that seriously, and I went, no. Not saying I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I just want to know. She's like, well, technically that makes it premeditated, and there's a whole list of issues there. But
Mm-hmm. Well, how good is my insurance if that does happen to occur? Would be my comment. Like,
if I accidentally hit a car 6 times, hypothetically, am I covered? Like, will you replace my Kia Soul? And then I'm like, I don't think my Kia Soul will survive hitting another vehicle 6 times unless it is way crappier. Like, if I hit like a 2000 Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I hit a 2000 Saturn, I'm not even putting a dent in Kia.
It will make 6 times a 2000 Saturn to go floating into the Ethernet.
I know, it just won't be any fun, though. I mean, it'll just be like, boing, 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 because those cars were all plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I don't know. I'm getting to that age. Like, somewhere around 35, I hit it.
Uh-huh.
Like, somewhere past 35, my listen here, you little shit switch flipped, and that's where I'm at now. I don't think 40 is going to look pretty.
Well, we know 40 never looks pretty.
Well, I'm just saying by 50, I'm going to be a Mary Kay agent, and I'm going to, have a new haircut.
I'm ready for the new haircut.
Oh my gosh, a kid literally hit 2 cars. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. Wow. That's, yeah. Well, no, I would be worried and concerned about that. A friend of mine had gotten her license, was a very good driver. She got her license on her first test, did amazing on her road test. Everything was great. And just a few months later, she started having all these problems driving. And like spatial awareness just suddenly was gone. And finally, after she wrecked 2 vehicles back to back within, like, so to speak, minutes of each other, it seemed like, they took her to the doctor and found out she had a softball-sized brain tumor. And this was her only symptom, was spatial awareness. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, be responsible at least. Don't drive away.
Yeah, stand there. Be like, you stole my parking spot? Wait for the police to get here. I have better insurance.
Oh, please. Kids don't do that. Like 16 to 20-year-olds, they don't ram you because you took their parking space. Me, on the other hand, I'm getting there.
I know. You actually put the soul into... You actually put the cam. We finally caught something worth pulling off the drive cam.
Oh my God, did we ever yesterday? Yes. Yes. Yeah. So that was fun. White hair, 1,000-yard stare. No awareness whatsoever of the fact that people are honking and swerving out of her way, driving on, like, this is a 4-lane road, 2 one way, 2 the other, with a turn lane down the middle, and she is left of center, like literally past the turn lane into oncoming traffic, totally oblivious. Oh my god, that is just a horrible day. Yeah, so yeah, but awesome job making him be responsible. Absolutely. But yeah, no, that was crazy yesterday. I was like, that was one of the first times in my life I think I've ever been happy to see a cop in my rearview mirror, because he was one of the ones that had to dive out of this woman's way, at which point he promptly did a U-turn. And I was like, okay, this may not be as bad.
Well, but, we never got the end of the story, so hopefully she's okay. But at the same time, this just reminds me, and yes, I'm getting into that aging population, so don't think I'm age discriminating. But I think when we start getting Social Security, we should have to retest.
Well, I don't even know that retesting will do it.
Okay.
I think it's more so if you have, and I'm going to say this, and people may find it a little weird. Tell your parents and grandparents every once in a while. Just go follow them around because they have set schedules. Grandma goes every blank day and has her hair done. Follow her for that. Just not like you're tailing a suspect, but literally just kind of follow her around and just see how the driving's working out. Just like every once in a while, just everyone, not like every day, but just every once in a while, get a clue for where you're at. Because what we run into with a lot of seniors, like the woman yesterday, was not a bad driver exactly. She was well within the lines. Her speed was appropriate for the road. Everything else was fine. She's just in the total wrong lane. And it's not like this is like unclear markings. It's like white, dashed white, 2 yellows. It's pretty clear.
It's very clear.
I mean, like, people make the on-ramp, off-ramp mistake. I understand that. I've been in those areas where it's like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. And I've almost done it. I get people ending up on the freeway in the wrong direction. This is not a freeway. I understand being in a new area and you inadvertently turn the wrong way down a one-way street. Done it. I will admit it. I've done it. Without realizing what I was doing, because the signs like turn catty corner or whatever, and it's not clear that, oh my God, one-way road.
Right.
Like, I've done that. People do that. That's not dementia. That's not bad driving. But when you're on a very clear marked road on a bright sunny day and you can't tell that you are that left of center, Grandma's got something going on. Again, not calling it dementia. There's a lot of things that can happen. A new medication. She could have been having a stroke. There's lots of things that can go wrong.
Right.
And from living next to a hospital for a very long point of my life, I will say that people going to and coming from a hospital, like if you're anywhere, like if you're within 5 blocks of a hospital, I will tell you now.
Right.
People become stupid near a hospital. Either they're leaving and someone just died and they don't care and shouldn't be behind a wheel, or they are trying to get there before they do, or thinking that they're going to. So, yeah, driving skill goes out the window.
ooh, a few grand a month. Honey, he was doing more and paying off the accidents. Wow.
Ooh. Oh, God, I did it again. I'm sorry, guys. I did this Friday night, and I turned around and did it again. I've been playing with my Cricket. I got to figure out a power situation because I keep leaving my laptop unplugged.
One of these days, he'll learn to put it on the checklist. Of course, I forgot my ring lights. I have no room to talk. But no, Sharon says that she told her grands years ago that after a certain age, they should need to retest just to make sure they understand the changes to driving laws. That I agree with, because there are still some driving laws that are coming out and can react appropriately. And seeing is a big thing in general, because a lot of
Vision is a big
people.
part of it.
Well, it's kind of like a lot of people were like you when you first got your glasses,
Mm-hmm.
and figured out that birds are in the sky and they don't just disappear, and leaves actually have shapes.
Well, that trees have leaves, and
Yeah.
more importantly, understanding that. Okay, guys, let me explain where I was at vision-wise when I got my glasses. I understood what leaves were, and I understood that they came from trees. But because of my visual issues, I did not understand that a tree was not just a blob and that fall was not this random process of that miraculously all turns out the same shape, of like trees falling apart like a jigsaw puzzle.
Right.
Like I just thought it was like a circle, and then in the fall it just broke. That was my understanding of leaves. I didn't get it.
Right.
And Mom was horrified when I am pointing this stuff out all over the place. I was seeing things I'd never seen before. But no, for most people, I'm pretty sure by the time you're getting into your 70s, you've already accepted you've needed glasses.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one over 70 that does not need glasses, that has not had vision surgery.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need them.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just readers. Maybe it's just for a little distance. Maybe it's just, a little correction.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the importance of getting checked out, getting your vision checked, to be checked out for a lot of things that will sneak up on you. Cataracts, glaucoma, some retinal issues. That can be some of it can be corrected early on. If you get there in time and you start treatment, you can kind of stop it there. Some things you can reverse, like cataracts, you can have surgery for.
Right.
And be aware that you might have a little deficit over here. That you might not be catching everything that's going on, so you need to turn a little more. And that can be another issue in older populations, is our mobility decreases as we age.
Right.
So that full, quick, easy turn, not always so full, quick, or easy.
Right. And 6 accidents in a month. Why isn't the DMV stepping up and going, hold up here? Don't care your age. You need to come in. Something not right with your driving.
Sometimes it depends upon whether or not the DMV is notified.
Well,
is there a police report? A lot of accidents now, and especially minor accidents. If you're, because she says accidents, not totals.
Right.
And so I don't know, how many of those 6 accidents were complete losses, police report was filed accidents, versus how many of those were put it into drive instead of reverse and took out a, stupid little pylon.
Right.
Yeah, that'll do it too. That'll do it too. Well, and even if they're not friends, I've seen some officers that will help people out, shall we say. I know of one person that the officer fed her everything she was to say. Because I think he quickly assessed the situation and took a moment to be kind and said, so when your car rolled and you were upside down, you removed your seatbelt because you knew that you might get injured worse if you didn't roll with the vehicle. Isn't that correct? And I'm like, oh, you got your butt saved there. Because of course she wasn't wearing her seatbelt, and in her situation that was because her seatbelt would not reach and she did not have a seatbelt extender.
Right. Which those are hard to find.
They can be.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that price wise is I don't know what her, and granted her financial situation was not the greatest by any means. But her commentary was that it was just too expensive. She pay a utility that's already late, versus, or pay on a utility that's already late versus buying a seatbelt extender.
Yeah.
So side note, if you're looking for anything for the safety of your friends and family, think about those who might be large
or tall.
And consider a seatbelt extender that you discreetly give them if you've noticed they don't wear a seatbelt. That may be the greatest gift you'll ever give them. Right. Seriously. Well, like if you want them to live, it may be the greatest gift you ever give them.
It's not only the more rounded people, it's more so even the tall people, like really tall. Sorry. Yeah, I'm a little round, but some like cars, their seatbelts are crap for tall people. They're locked into one spot. And I even need an extender.
Well, and for her, I will say it wasn't necessarily how huge she was. It was like, granted, she was not a small woman.
Right.
But that particular model was kind of well known for its weirdo seatbelt. It's not that it didn't have a long seatbelt. The seatbelt was actually quite long, but she was also, one, very short, and two, the car had very long doors. So the point where the seatbelt mounted meant if she had been like 4 inches taller, her seatbelt would have been fine. Yeah. Exactly. The shoulder strap across the throat. And they make clips for those too, to help adjust those. And again, that's a lovely thing. If you've got short people in your life and you notice they're getting the throat cut, they are in desperate need of a seatbelt clip.
Right. And you can get those at local pallets, gas stations, and L&Js.
Yeah. Basically, truck stops have them too.
Yeah.
Any truck stop you have.
Well, what gets me is some of the stuff the truck stops have. Like Joe has seen me go shopping, and I go shopping for the next pilot. And he'll let me know why, and I said, because it's a trucker thing.
Okay.
Like car seat covers, yes, Walmart has them, but they're crap.
Yeah. Because truckers, like, this is professional equipment. As stupid as it is to call a seat cover professional equipment, it really, truly, honestly is when your entire career is spent behind the wheel of a vehicle.
Right. Well, or, they make wonderful office chair covers.
Really?
Yes. The same seat. You get one of the seat covers that goes for the Mack trucks. office seat, you unscrew the handles, pull it down, punch the screws back through, and tighten it on.
Ah, very nifty, very nifty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But no, this week has been fun. We have a new moon on Thursday for all those that follow the new moon. If you want to get your haircut at home, trim your ends, good time to do that. Plant a garden, set out new goals, good time to do any of those.
There you go. Always awesome, always awesome.
Right.
So we're really going to Lowe's tomorrow, and you're working double overtime, aren't you?
Yep.
Got it now.
We're actually making because we're getting a wheelbarrow.
Well, but keep in mind, you better be careful. You said 4 loads. We've already done 2.
Uh-huh.
The wheelbarrow is a load in and of itself.
Well, depending on if I'm allowed to load it the way I want to load it.
Oh, you are not tying that to the top of our Kia.
I haven't tied anything to the top of the Kia yet.
I will let you walk from Lowe's.
I've done it before. I actually walked farther than that. That was when I was like 16.
Well, when I think I was 20 something when I walked from a very long distance in Greensboro that now looking back, I cannot believe I went that far.
Mm-hmm.
But that was pure rage.
Mm-hmm.
So, rage will let you walk a very long distance.
Well, what had happened was I got annoyed at this play that I was doing, and it got released early. Nobody was answering their phone. Drives me crazy every time. So I ended up walking home. It's like 15 miles. Didn't take me that long.
Mm-hmm. I measured it at one point, and I now can no longer remember how far that was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a similar situation. I got very, very angry because, one, I don't typically ask for rides a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the exact situation. There was something going on with my car, and one time asked a friend, "Hey, could you take me to Walmart?"
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So we take off to Walmart and hey, I'll get you lunch. I'm so appreciative, and I did. I forget what he said. And
okay, you're freezing on me.
Oh no, am I freezing again?
Mm-hmm. Did your virus protection kick in? Yep, he's frozen. Look, we froze Joe.
Not freeze. All my stuff's happy. I don't know what you broke.
I didn't break anything.
But anyway, so to finish the story, hopefully the connection will hold. Forget what exactly he said, but I remember getting so mad that I never ask anyone for a ride.
Right.
Do it, and I think I'm doing it right. I seriously, truthfully, because
go out and come back in.
Okay, see y'all in a second.
All right. Well, he's working on coming back, which I'm sure he'll be right back. Y'all guys seen this? The FDA approved a smaller dose of this hydrocortisone that Trump says he's taking. Really? So you're approving a drug the scientists have already proven bad? Just because he thinks that it works. That just takes my opinion or thought from the CDC as crap. No, the FDA, not the CDC, the FDA. And it's like, why in the world are they even allowing this at best? And, it's like, why are these government agencies just barreling down to, well, I'll just throw it out in the media and you'll have to approve it? No. People, use your senses, please. Don't be trusting anything just thrown at you. And Florida's firing scientists that refuse to manipulate the CDC data. I'm telling you, I don't know sometimes. I really do not know. Let's see if we got him back yet. Yeah, it looks like he's back.
There we go. Hi. Sorry, don't know what that was. Any better now?
Yes, much. Now you don't sound like you ate a chipmunk.
Oh.
Or as Brenda put it, cute little piano keys being pressed.
So I may have done that to myself. We'll check that some other time and find out. Okay. But no, okay, don't know how much of the story was heard, but we were up to the point, basically. I never take the short takeaway. I never ask people for rides. I thought I'd went about it the right way. Like, I'm really appreciative. Let me take you to dinner. I spent like $20 on his dinner. I'm a poor broke college student at the time. Okay. $20 on dinner. That's a lot. And I know what it was. He asked me for $20 for gas.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just livid at that point.
Uh-huh.
Like, one or the other, dude. And first of all, you're driving a Toyota Camry from 1995. It did not cost you $20 in gas to go from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
I will guarantee it. So yeah, I got very angry, and at that point, thinking of the fact that I never ask anyone for rides, I thought I went about this the right way. I cannot believe you just asked me for $20 for gas. Mm-hmm. I got out of the car and walked.
Mm. Well, while you were gone, we started discussing how the FDA is now bending to Trump's malicious bullcrap of, I'm taking this drug for COVID-19 that's already been proven not to be effective. If not, it's even more deadlier.
Yeah, it's a very confusing little story there. Like, if he's taking it, there's a lot of risks, especially as... Granted, I think Nancy Pelosi probably pointed it out at the worst way possible. But suffice it to say, she's not wrong. Right. He has a lot of co-issues that are known to create problems with that medication. Mm-hmm. That in a perfectly healthy, and we mean that in the most sincere form of those words, not the version he wrote and got a doctor to sign under duress. But even in a perfectly healthy person, that medication comes with some risk factors that only get worse. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you're in the hospital and you are looking at staring down the barrel of potentially dying from this, might there be a case made for trying it? Yes, although so far it's actually turned out worse. Right. That at least from the VA study, that patients who were given that hydrochloroquine actually fared worse than patients not given it.
Right.
Granted, he's not accepting that report.
Yeah, and
So,
nor is he accepting the report from the Forensic Medicine Bureau that dealt with this, the Italian Medical Bureau that dealt with this, and all of them said, no, this is not the correct action.
ultimately, because he's invested.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this is the problem. This is why we like our elected officials, our president, specifically, to not have conflicts of interest, to put their assets in a blind trust they do not directly benefit from or control during their presidency.
Right.
Not some sham shell corporation that, well, I'm not really part of, still part of,
Right.
totally in control of. Yeah, no, that's some crap.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of crap. It's like the reopening that we're going through that was not even on plan. The original plan was 14 days of no new cases. That's what we should have followed. Instead, we're getting more infected with death. Our death rate or pause rate has all gone up. And that only happened when we began seeing the economy drop. Well, gee, the economy's dropping because nobody's working.
Right.
And everyone is just buying what they need. They're not spending the extra on eating out and movies and gas and travel. It was an adjustment of the economy to begin with.
Well, and there's also another factor there. Is that we also have to understand that other world governments have taken a very proactive approach to keeping consumer spending going. And while that does include running a deficit or effectively borrowing from the future to help keep everything running today, other countries have done that in a way that they're not sitting on the same kind of, Great Depression precipice.
Right.
That, because right now the only thing we did was block, evictions and foreclosures.
Right.
Not for the next 6 months, the next year, so that people actually have a chance to recover, but just until we reopen the courthouses. Because that was literally a news item today, was that as courthouses are reopening, new eviction cases.
Right. Which is ridiculous. Canada, Great Britain, France, hell, even poor Italy are issuing 2,000, anywhere from $1,200 US to $2,000 US a month for 6 months to their population.
Yeah.
Not your taxpayers that have filed taxes or your corporate greed.
Right.
No, to the populace.
Right. Well, and honestly, if on the corporate greed side, if that had actually come with real, legitimate, strong terms and conditions and had legitimately been a payroll protection act, you have to keep these employees and you have to keep paying them full time. Like, these are your biggest requirements. You cannot reduce your staff right now. You have to use every dime of this to keep your payroll going. If that had been what it had been, I wouldn't have a problem with it. That's not what it was. You had corporations that took this money, reduced their staff, reduced their payroll, and used it for stock buybacks to prop up their stock prices during this economic disaster.
Right.
Not fixing the problem.
Not even doing it right.
No, it's not helping.
No.
That is helping, arguably, helping billionaires who don't care.
Right. Two of the biggest United States billionaires said, print the coins, we will buy them. I want one and he wants one. Yes, $2 trillion each. Thank you.
Yes. But yes, and hello, Gwen.
Hi, Gwen.
Great to see you. But no, it's And there was a play. There's a whole playbook.
Mm-hmm.
Could have handled this.
Yeah.
We ignored that. I mean, there's just so much wrong with this.
Right.
Like, I don't get it. I really, I don't get it.
Right.
I do not get a single reopen protester. I do not get a single person that is still calling this a great success story. I don't get it. I do not get it. I do not get how you look at that.
Mm-hmm.
And in the immortal words of Betty Davis, look at it and say anything but, what a dump.
Exactly. Because there's some major problems. One, every United States citizen has a Social Security number. They have copies of the Social Security numbers. They have copies of every driver's license. They have they, according to the Patriots Act, have recorded every bank account information.
Well, exactly.
It has to be reported.
Well, or moreover, all of our banks.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a bank account right now, you had to prove at least the originator of the account, the person opening it, and any person you added to it,
right,
was a legal U.S. citizen.
Right.
Like, what was the hell was that about? If it's not beneficial in this circumstance, you have my Social Security. You have a copy of a photo ID of me.
Mm-hmm.
And that is true of every single bank you have an account at.
Right. So how hard is it?
How is this hard?
Yeah, where is this hard? You have an insurance company, which there's two actually.
Mm-hmm.
Unemployment is an insurance company. Social Security is an insurance company. Both of them have documentation of where you live, documentation of your Social Security number, documentation of your bank account. Why they could not easily begin printing and sending out checks within a day amazes me.
Well, realistically, none of this makes any sense to me. While I think there might be some oversimplification, and no, I don't expect sending money to that many people to be easy, but doable correctly, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that had this have occurred in a way that was more logically defined with better parameters by a more intelligent administration that gave a shit, because let's face it, doesn't. Anyone feeling cared about right now? Anyone? If you're a millionaire, put your hand down, and I assume you're not watching this anyway. I mean, I'm not feeling cared about. And I don't mean that in a, I need to have my hand held and walked across the street. And no, I mean literally as a, like, simple basic human rights. That in the midst of this, we're going to keep attacking, healthcare. In the midst of this, we're going to keep pushing for restrictions on unemployment. What?
Yeah. Oh, who? And EBT.
Pardon?
EBT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Keeps getting cut, keeps getting attacked, and attacked. Are you, what the hell are we got going on in Washington, and how much are we overspending on them?
Well, and here's the thing. For anyone sitting there, and I keep seeing this one come up, is we're not going to get anyone to go back to work. They're making bank on that $600 a week. Okay, so help me out. How much is unemployment right now? Plus $600 a week? Like West Virginia, just curious, because I know that in, say, Alabama, that would work out to like $200 or $223. I think I saw it was plus 600. So that's $800 a week, 1,600 every two. So 3,200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Like y'all, maybe I'm spoiled rotten, but I used to make that pre-tax. The after tax wasn't well close to that, let's say. Um, Before my withdrawals is what I was trying to say. That was my after tax pre with all the withholdings.
Right.
Was right there. I could barely afford to live in North Carolina on that. I'm not really all that spendy.
Right.
Like, that was me trying to make rent, utilities, food, gas, car insurance, pay a student loan. Like, that was the last thing on the list. But just general living was a struggle on that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can call anyone making like 3,200 a month making bank.
Right.
And if you're talking about someone supporting a family of, say, 4, who might be making, what? I think the highest in the nation is something like 600 a week already. So you're talking about 12, 24, 48 a month, 4,800 a month for 4 people. And if this is a state that already has an unemployment that's 4,800, their cost of living has to be enormous. So making bank, really? Like, if your job offering is that crappy that 4,800 a month is making bank, living like king. That was a comment I keep seeing, is making bank, living like kings. Like, what kind of backwoods nothing of a king is that?
Well, not only that, but we look at, where was it? All these countries that have installed a minimal living.
Okay, you're talking about countries that are doing a universal income?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They succeed greatly. Yeah. Their country succeeds greatly. Their scores are good. Their health is better.
Mm-hmm.
They figured this out real quickly. If we aren't paying $174,000 per member of Congress or Parliament, and that's what we currently pay on average to our congressmen, if they've been there longer, they make more for life.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot better as a country.
Well, in general, countries that have a universal basic income have learned that in that situation, one, your employers have to get better. There is no choice. Your employee can leave at any time. As long as their bills will fit within universal basic income, they can walk out that door anytime they want to.
Mm-hmm.
So, as an employer, you better step up your game. This crap isn't going to fly anymore.
Right.
2, you're hiring people that want to work for you, not people that have no other choice because they're trying not to get evicted and be homeless and not eat.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a very big difference in employment.
Right.
When you have the opportunity to find a job that you enjoy, instead of taking one because you have to eat, period. Right. That's it. That's the only reason you applied.
Right.
You applied to 50 places, and this is the first one that called. Golden. Yeah, your interaction with that employer, you are more incentivized to do your best work because you want to work there. Also changes entrepreneurship. You will find more opportunities for people to start their own business when they don't have to worry about things like healthcare and what they're going to do for that first 2, 3, 4, 5, however long it takes to get that new business off the ground.
Right.
But in the U.S., we like our slavery. Wage slavery is what I'm trying to say. Because it's what it is. You don't have a choice but to work. That's what we're finding out now. If you haven't realized it yet, that's what reopening is. Go risk your life because you have to eat, and unemployment will kick you off.
Right. Which is bull.
Hmm?
Now, granted, I'm a little bit double-sided with some things.
Okay.
I think if you're physically able to work doing something, you should go do something.
Okay.
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 You know, I think that, you know, in normal times, I think it's good for people to be able to figure out something to do with their life, whether it's playing in a garden and raising vegetables or assisting in online ordering at home from a computer to whatever.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I don't think anyone disagrees with that sentiment. Like, we talk about it like there's just this large group of people that never want to work. No. There's a few. There's a few. Yeah. Like, everyone will admit that. There are a few people that just will not work. Working is an anathema to them. That is not a massive swath of our population. However, we do have a very large portion of our population that are already failing to thrive while fully employed.
Right.
And I have seen people get what difference does it make? I'm in a hole. I'm never going to get out of that hole. So what difference does it make if I work for a living or I injure myself on the job and I go on a disability? I'm going to get about the same amount of money with a lot less hassle.
Right.
So, yes, there are a lot of people, and I'm not saying they have illegitimate injury, as in they're injured. They're legitimately injured, who sit there and make what is a rational decision.
Right.
Like, hi, what else can you call that? That's the state of our employment. When you have people so far in a hole, you're never getting out. Like, we're not talking about go live your best life. We're talking about people that can't even break even. Right. That are, 3 jobs, and if they're not already having that idea, their body is already having it.
Right.
I.e., if you're working 3 jobs, living off of Red Bulls, and you don't remember the last time you slept more than 3 hours, 1, you are not living your best life. 2, you are not going to live long. 3, you will not prosper.
And 4, you will break down.
Yeah, it will end.
Yeah.
Again,
in my 20s, I worked my ass and many thins and coffee were my best friends. Granted, I looked the best I ever did in my life. I had the smallest waist, but that's because I never slept and barely remembered to eat. And I'm dealing with it now.
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we have a lot of jobs that people can do that are from home. We have seen that a lot of jobs can be moved to home. We should stick with that type of a lifestyle and a creation of a lifestyle. When an employer is looking at, do we build a new campus, i.e. a major office building, or do we start buying the same equipment and paying cable giving you a stipend for your cable internet,
and saving us the hassle of renting a physical space that everyone doesn't want to go to.
Right.
Point blank. And I've worked in a call center and looked around the room and gone, out of 200 employees, we might need 50 of them here. 150 could work from home.
And cut childcare costs, cut labor costs in general.
Yeah.
And you'd get more work.
And moreover, quit making it someone's job to go round people out of the bathroom. I mean, that was literally one of our managers' like all day thing, was trying to was bathroom monitor, break monitor. Just roaming the building, telling everyone to get back to work, get back to work, get back to work. If that's not annoying enough to begin with. But no, it just, to me, doesn't make any sense. There is just so much of this that is stupidly wasteful.
Right.
And a lot of companies are, and again, saw it in a call center. I can hear the arguments now, but how do we get their reports to them? We have a document center that will scan to email. We have a shit ton of computer equipment in this building that is capable of PDF and email. Just give them a corporate email account that won't email out.
Well, not only that, but give them a free, we see this with companies I work for. None of them have employees in offices right now. Not having offices and such allows more value for stock to investors. That's why they cling to it so much. Having offices will allow better stock options. That's a good point, but the more point over is, and it's getting a new view of the work world.
Well, yeah. And again, back to the call center, our biggest problem, and the company was seriously having a consideration of relocating. The whole reason that they had exhausted the local population of employees. One, because it was a shitty company, like just point blank. And I don't mean that as in, I do not think the owner was a shitty human being. I do not think, the vice president or any of the staff were shitty human beings. What I mean is the premise that you're running under, how to run a collections agency, when you have like 40-some% turnover, when your average employee has only been here for like 18 months, and that's including some lifers that have been here since the doors opened, trying to weight that average, you've got a problem. When people sit through your orientation on day one of a 2-week process, and they can't make it to first smoke break, you have a problem.
Right. Well, the companies I work for, it does allow me the ability to live where I want to. We could pick up tomorrow and move to Mexico once we, put $5,000 into a bank account and, establishing, your weapons training.
Well, and with Shannon's comment, I will say I understand the assets portion of this. Assets are very important to company numbers. The more assets you have, the better you look on paper, the better your investor position is, because at least if everything goes bankrupt, you have assets to sell.
Right.
That's at least been my understanding of that concept. But here's my problem with that. How many giant ass Walmarts have you seen that are empty? Because Walmart left. And they sit there, and they sit there, and they sit there, and they sit there. Because nothing wants a Walmart. Occasionally you find a church. Occasionally you find a rec center. Occasionally you find something that will take on a giant Walmart that has been deserted. But the reality is, a lot of what we have in terms of assets are not always assets. In terms of the call center that I worked for, it was not a publicly traded company, and our building was leased.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have an asset. The company technically had no other assets than the computers,
Mm-hmm.
and some desks and chairs. Everything else was a lease. Corporate vehicles were a lease. Everything's on a lease. Even our primary server was on a lease.
Yeah.
What asset?
Right.
What asset? And in fact, we were trying our ever loving best because the state of North Carolina, and especially Durham, North Carolina's B&O, you don't want to have assets, at least not with any value.
Mm-hmm.
So no, in their situation, they want as few assets as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Even if on the flip side, you're from an investor perspective looking at, the more assets you have, the more stability you potentially have.
Right.
But I think that's going to be a concept that's going to be lost to the past.
Right. I think that a smart business owner right now would be investing in technology for remote work. And we're seeing that in a lot of our consulting work is, where people are ordering mega desktops. They're now wanting us to quote mega laptops.
Yeah. And that has been an interesting process recently. Let me tell you. I did have a client come to me, and we just kind of had to. You and I had the conversation at one point because I was about to pull my hair out trying to run that quote for them. They're ordering plywood 3 minutes before the hurricane makes landfall.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing left unless you want to spend price gouging rates, or you want something that is barely more intelligent than a tablet.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got. All the stuff in the middle has been eaten.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone.
Right.
And the prices on what's left is ridiculous.
Right.
And and in that one particular client instance, you need 5 of them. That's the point I got to. This is nailing Jello to a tree. I can't get prices to stay solid.
Right. But not only that, but it was like watching.
Oh, okay. Maybe I misread her comment. Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry, Shannon. I may be getting lost in yours. But yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. I really think we're going to see a different economy. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more picnics than eating out. At least from people that had to stay in, like I have for 50 days now and counting. But it's also made me look at things a lot differently. One of the weird ones was mayonnaise. On average, we spend about $4.50 a jar of mayonnaise. Yeah. You got an emulsion blender, and I had to make mayonnaise the first time ever, but we're not buying mayonnaise anymore.
Yeah.
We're not shopping at Walmart's anymore.
No. And those are big changes. Those are really big changes. One, he is the king of the Walmart shoppers, or at least was. So lots of Walmart shopping. And it's just, I will say it's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
At the rate we used to go. Yeah, I think there's going to be a few people we have to figure out how to send a Christmas card to just to let them know we're still alive.
Well, it's to the point now. I've looked at how the company is doing, and it's like, nope, sorry.
Yeah.
The only reason I was going was you were open. Now you're not open. And how you dealt with stuff in this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry.
Yeah. Well, and you also started out with a lot of concern, or I don't want to call it concern as much as discomfort, maybe, with online shopping.
Yeah.
That like you weren't really comfortable there, you weren't really, and I think a lot of people were there.
Right.
You know, and now there's been, I think, a pretty massive shift.
Mm-hmm.
That people are reevaluating this concept that online shopping's not so bad.
Yeah.
Curbside pickup's kind of cool.
Well, not only that, but home delivery, I'm loving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, Amazon away, eBay superior.
Well, I mean, take me for instance. I never thought I would ever do a Kroger pickup.
Right.
Like I just saw that, and I'm sorry guys, y'all can disagree, and I'm changed now, but I just used to see that as the ultimate in like laziness. You're going to pay someone $5 to go buy your groceries. Oh, for the love of God, grab a cart and buy your own. Plus, how do you know that they know how to pick?
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been buying groceries since I was 12 years old. I have picked up a few things, and judging by some baggers I've had over the years, I did not have faith in this concept.
Mm-hmm.
Because let me tell you, one more kid put some canned foods in with my bread, I will hurt someone. Like what kind of idiot? Like
Mm-hmm.
if your mama never sends you to the store, like good Lord, you do not put canned foods with the bread.
Right.
Exactly, Brenda. I'm there. Like I converted. I'm doing pretty good. We've now I won't say everything's gone beautifully with that. Like I was a little miffed when the eggs were sideways. Like that was a little like, no, you don't put eggs sideways.
Uh-huh. But
You
I actually really like that. I've actually gotten more comfortable. I'm really liking it. One, I can use my coupons right there online. I don't have to remember which one I clicked and how much it was for.
Mm-hmm.
Two, my Crooker's points are going straight to the right program. I don't have to remember if I switched up my card to, one to go to the animal shelter and one to go to AIDS research. I can sit there and see which card it's going to.
Mm-hmm.
Three, I don't have to wait till Friday to remember we need ketchup. I can come in here, put it into my cart, and when I schedule the pickup, it'll be there.
Right.
And we're saving a ton of freaking money by doing it.
Yeah,
we're at the value of my
impulse. Like we're avoiding impulse purchases and unplanned, like sudden meals. Like
right.
We're not just going, ooh, that recipe's cool. Let's go run to Kroger and grab all the stuff for that and make that.
Right.
And then maybe or maybe not that occurs.
Right.
Because
the other part of that is the other thing about it is, and it's not that we're avoiding sudden purchases, because we still make sudden purchases. They just take a week to get here. But with it, what we have seen repetitively is it's just boom, there it is, done. We've got what we need. We have a standard grocery list now, but we also can throw in those things. No more, oh, I forgot, and I'll have to go back in a day. Because I was a daily shopper. Like when I got back, I got spoiled in Canada. Because Canada has fresh vegetables every day, tons of selective foods, tons of things to create. We don't have that here. Example, I got to try Buddha fingers in Canada. They still don't have that fruit down here.
Well, but also if you're working with fresh markets versus grocery stores, that can make a huge difference for a community.
Yes.
Like we do in the U.S. have a lot of problems with food deserts.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of travel our food has to make to get from someone who sells it to our homes.
Mm-hmm.
And it does create a lot of problems with the way we end up utilizing food.
Mm-hmm.
That it creates this sense of either I buy it now or I've got to make another trip out.
Right.
Or I'm in a situation, like if you're in a situation where you don't have transportation of your own, there's no run to the store unless you literally want to take your feet and run to the store, and God only knows how far that is. This is West Virginia, after all.
All right. But also what I do like about, one other thing I like about it is it's saving me time. On average, when I used to have to schedule out literally every minute of my day, I'd schedule 2 hours for grocery shopping a week.
At least.
At least.
Yeah. We spent a lot of time in stores or going to stores, and I would honestly say it worked out to a hell of a lot more than 2 hours a week.
Right.
Because at the frequency in which we hit Walmart, I'm pretty sure that in an average week, you've probably saved about 10 hours, if not more.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Nope, I'm ordering this.
Yeah.
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 And by the way, grocery stores there are more stores than just grocery stores. Lowe's does a pickup.
Which I think is new to them, and someone can correct me. And I had a hell of a time. I'm out of a construction family. I tend to forget everything past the contractor side exists, because that's where we park. It's an ingrained thing. My whole family does it. Like, we don't typically go to Lowe's for like one stupid item. Like, we end up having to come out with one of those flat carts. So we just park on the end with the easy access. Just pull the truck right on up. Yeah, my life's weird with a Kia, let me tell you. But I found out the hauling capacity. And I'm thinking about the towing hitch and a cart. But yeah.
On a trailer.
Basically. Yeah, get the little trailer. Not a box trailer. No, I don't want that. Oh, no.
Rough.
No, I don't want a roof. I just want the open, airy one.
Okay. We'll have to get two then.
Alrighty. Well, you can buy your second one.
Uh-huh. Anywho, these are things that we're noticing that we're not going to be going back to, because it's like, no, I ain't doing that. I'm not supporting that. I'm not going to deal with someone that could not even. At one time, Walmart wasn't even talking doctors' excuses from their employees, that the doctor said, nope, this one is high risk and should be off work until whenever.
Right.
They were not providing PPE for their employees. They were not providing safety measures for their employees, and they were cattling us, which was even more dangerous.
Well, it can especially be. And again, I go back to my previous comments that Walmart was never built for a pandemic.
No.
And nor was most of modern retail shopping.
Right.
It was. Pardon?
Amazon was designed for this.
Yes, it was. But no, modern retail shopping, and just to clarify for anyone who's missed my previous comments, modern retail shopping was built to keep you in that store as long as possible and make you walk in circles for as long as possible. Because the longer you're in the store, the further you have to walk to find everything you need. And you'll notice the things you most commonly need hit the four corners. So if nothing else, you've got to go through a good chunk of store. Right. They put the doors in front center next to the registers, and everything else is towards the corners.
Right. And I don't know what other Walmarts did, but ours done a maze. Literally, if you needed milk, you had to go through every aisle to get to the milk and then come up.
As its pandemic response is.
Its pandemic response. Not get you in there, fastest route in, fastest route out. No, you had to go through cereal and bread and everything else to get to the milk. And then if you had to go to pharmacy, you had to go all the way through this maze to get to the pharmacy. There was no straight lines like we're seeing in a lot of the grocery stores now. Of you go in one way, you come around, you come back out. If you just need one piece, you're out. So no, that was cattling.
And I don't know if our local Walmart, and I would highly doubt it because our local Walmart pharmacy sucked. But I do know of one at least in the southern part of the state that was actually doing curbside pharmacy pickup.
Mm-hmm.
As in, you pull into a space just like you ordered online, you call the store, they bring out your prescriptions.
Yeah, they were not doing that here the last time I was there, and that's been about a month and a half.
Yeah. Well, no, that was right at the very beginning of this.
Yeah.
You made a trip out, so about 50 days ago.
Yeah.
You made a trip out because we were finishing the changeover from the crappy pharmacy. And there was one more prescription that got refilled.
Right. But, yeah, done.
Yeah.
And I was a big supporter of Walmart. Done. Not going to deal with them. You know.
Well, it makes me wonder how many other people, like, is this the death of Walmart? Or more importantly, is this the final nail on this big box, always low prices concept? Like,
but I'm finding they're even not low prices.
No, they're not. But the illusion thereof.
Mm-hmm.
You know, cheap goods, maybe or maybe not at a cheap price, in large variety and quantity. Not that their variety was all that great anymore, but just enough to run a lot of your small businesses out of business.
Right.
Like everyone's sitting here worried about the massive, horrible effects on the economy. And not without reason. I keep sitting here going, I think this is going to be the point in which I think it's going to be bad for a lot of businesses. And when I say that, I mean big businesses. Your Walmarts, your massive, huge everything and snow tires retailers. I think they're going to have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I think consumers have had enough, and this was the nail in the coffin to go, look, this crap's got to stop.
Right.
You're screwing with our local wages. You're screwing with our ability to start and run and keep small business. You're destroying and decimating our communities. And then when we need you the most, you are literally turning into a cattle herding situation that is untenable. Like, you finally, when you have to walk through every single friggin' aisle of that store just to get to pharmacy that is at the opposite end of the maze, have to stop and realize, you know, if I'd just been using a pharmacy, I could have gone to a pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
And got my prescriptions.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I may have also had to have stopped and picked up bread, milk, and eggs. But you know what? I wouldn't have had to have gone through an entire Walmart maze to get those few items.
Mm-hmm.
With ungodly numbers of other people who may or may not be sick, who may or may not understand the concept of social distancing, who may or may not be covering as they cough, sneeze, hack, pick, and whatever ungodly things they do while they're going through the maze with me.
Right. But the other thing is we started using for like fresh products. There's a little local store at the corner of our road, Country Corner. They make lovely chicken livers on Fridays between the hours of 12 and 2:30.
Well, now hold on. They have lovely chicken livers that are supposed to be available between the hours of 12 and 2:30. Technically available between 11 and 2:30. 11 as early as you can get them.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, if you're not there before 12, you ain't getting any.
Right, because it's probably one of their largest and most expensive, most bought dinners.
Mm-hmm. And there's one stupid company in the area that will send someone over at noon.
Yes.
And by God, that's when your food selection dies quickly. They'll pick up food for 20.
But, point being there, we had thought in our heads that somehow the cabbage population had greatly reduced in size.
Yeah.
We had thought tomatoes had lost their taste.
Well, not a problem for me. I haven't tasted a tomato in a very long time. I don't want to. But no, like with cabbages, I got used to this being a cabbage. Like I started to accept this. Like this thing that's like about this like smaller than a football. Like if you a football about that size as being a normal cabbage anymore. Or smaller even. I've accepted smaller. I don't know what to do with things that are bigger than bowling balls and heavier, and you go to cut them apart and water and cook them, and water is not like 3/4 of it.
Right.
We didn't know how to function.
We had a
cabbage.
We had a cabbage. I tried to make slaw. I made enough slaw to feed a church army. And then we took the other 3/4 of it and thought, oh, we'll make cabbage and kielbasa. One big pot, no big deal.
I do.
Yes, he does. I think he almost didn't get all of it in.
It was a struggle. And just for comparison, I'd gotten to the point that I was now buying 2 heads of cabbage to make cabbage and kielbasa in an Instapot, because we're using an Instapot. This is now a universal measurement. Using my Instapot, getting about this much in the bottom of it after everything cooked down, and most of that's a watery soup. We cooked this, and if I hadn't have added water, the appropriate amount like I always do, it would not have had any liquid. Because I put in my like 1.5 cups of water, and there was a 1.5 cups of water. This is a pressure cooker. Water doesn't really escape all that much. Like there's a little steam, but usually cabbage cooks down to a lot of water. This did not. And it was amazing. Oh my God, it was so amazing.
Yes.
But it was so wild. On 3/4 of 1 head of cabbage. And this was one of the average size ones in this grouping. I was like, oh my God, this is what I'm used to.
Yeah, so we will be buying our fresh produce at a local store, and he has a hot house, so he'll have produce when it's in. Also check into your farmers markets. Ours is on Tuesdays from 12 to 4. In Oak Hill, we will definitely be checking that out with masks and gloves, of course.
Yeah. And are you taking any questions tonight?
If they post, I'll definitely take questions.
I know. Like, we forgot to tell them they could post questions. Like, come on, guys. It is the Psychic Coffee Shop. We're not trying to make 2 mountain bears a week. Yeah.
So that's what we've been up to. If anybody's got any questions, I'll go ahead and take those. If not, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. Matter of fact, I just made you start taking questions in chat whenever they post.
Well,
even on mountain bears.
There we go. I'm cool with that. I have no problem with that on mountain bears.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. So I may replace this bottom crawler later.
Okay.
Yep. All right, guys. I guess I'm calling it. I'm not seeing any.
Going once, going twice. Oh, you didn't see any?
No.
Cute psychic joke. Cute. I'm sorry, I make bad psychic jokes all the time.
Yes, you do. We will have to send you down to send you over to Wales. You guys have a great night. See you next week. See you Friday.
Yes. Good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all. Good night, Joe.